everyone, welcome back to the Movie Studio, and today I'm here to talk about the new Hallmark show, The Wind Calls the Heart spinoff, or should I say prequel, Hope Valley 1874. So this basically focuses on what this universe was like before Hope Valley and before Coal Valley. I remember when they first announced this, I was confused as to why it wasn't named Coal Valley. And then the excuse they made up is that this is before it was even named Coal Valley, and then before it was named Hope Valley later on, which I guess works well enough for this. So the town, I guess, just doesn't have a name. It's just like this area where all these people are gathered, prospectors searching for gold. So yeah, I mean, overall, I would say I enjoy the show so far. I don't think it's great. I think there's like some like parts of it that I think are not as good as others, but I think overall it's solid. It has like a solid cast. As far as the cast goes, we have Bethany Joy Lenz playing Rebecca, Benjamin Ayers playing Tom, Jill Hennessy as Hattie, Roan Curtis as Olivia, Lachlan Cornby as Alexander, Jedediah Goodacre as Clayton, and Chelsea Hobbs as Peggy. So yeah, I mean, we have our two leads, and like these two have been put together in every single poster, which is Rebecca and Tom. They're clearly this relationship that they're building up, kind of like an enemies to lovers in a sense. There's some tension with them right off the bat. I mean, I don't think it's like very like that like captivating of tension per se, because the only reason why there's even any tension is because he doesn't really agree with the boarding house per se. He's also very stubborn. Like, he takes forever to get Rebecca to look at his hand after he injures it in the first episode. Which, I mean, probably a lot of guys back then were just very stubborn, closed off, wouldn't accept help, especially from a lady who you just met. But yeah, they're interesting. I mean, it's clear that they're going to end up together, right? I mean, they're like the Jack and the Elizabeth. I mean, without Tom being a Mountie. It obviously doesn't reach Jack and Elizabeth levels of that, but I mean, for what they are, I think they have good chemistry. I'm looking forward to seeing Tom kind of like turn into like more of like a compassionate person, because right now he's very stressed out. He's pissed off at these prospectors. He just doesn't want anything to do with them, so we just see him in a bad mood almost all the time. But we also see moments where, like with Sarah, when he helps her feed the calf, that's in episode 1, where he has these moments where we kind of see glimpses of more of like a actual like human and kind-hearted too. I mean, he did save Sarah at the beginning of episode 1, so I do believe he's a good guy. He just has a lot going on. I do believe something happened in his past too, because it's like that with every male lead in Hallmark, whether it's a cowboy or a Mountie or just a regular person. There's just some sort of shady past with them. I mean, granted, Jack had a bit of a past. Nathan, not so much. Nathan was more of a straightforward guy, but like Lucas, he had like the shadiest past of all. But yeah, so I do think there's more to come with Tom as to like how he feels, all of that, what his like not what his motives are per se. But like, what's he like really like doing? Like, I assume he's going to come around for the boarding house by the end. Well, what shifts that? Again, I think they're definitely developing a relationship here too. So we'll see. Rebecca, I mean, she's very much like an Elizabeth. I can see a lot of similarities with her. She's a single mom. She lost her husband, so there's a bit of grief factor there. We see a flashback with her and her husband at the start of the second episode. So I'm curious. I kind of hope they delve more into her grief too, because they're clearly showing that her daughter Sarah has lingering grief and attachment issues with her mom. I would like to still delve more into Rebecca's grief too. I'm hoping that they're not just going to make her be this love interest and someone who just does everything for this community, because so far she's she has this boarding house, she's making meals for the prospectors, and she's teaching someone how to read, which I do like that they added that in, because I mean, it would probably be pretty common at this time for people just not to know how to read at all, especially women. They just were never taught. So I do like that they added that in, but I don't know. I'm thinking she should probably just be focusing on the boarding house. I'm worried that they're going to turn her into someone like Elizabeth or Abigail, where they're involved in every single thing. And that's not a bad thing. It just makes the character a bit overwhelming and a bit just overloaded. So I'm hoping they kind of make her more go towards the boarding house, or even just focus more on her relationship with her daughter. I mean, they're doing a good job at it so far. Clearly, Sarah, her daughter, has attachment issues. She's probably grieving her father still. She doesn't want to lose her mom. I mean, it's very understandable why you wouldn't want to let go of your mom. When you're grieving, when you probably never even had a chance to grieve, and you got so close to your mom being out there, just the two of you, and now you're have to interact with all these people, and you're probably already more of an introverted kid anyways. It's very hard, a lot of adjustment all at once, especially when your mom is very outgoing and willing to jump in and help whenever. So I do like that dynamic there. I'm curious. I assume as the season develops, we'll see Sarah start to integrate with friends more, feel like herself in this community. So yeah, I mean, our core dynamic with Rebecca and Sarah and then Tom in the mix, I think it's a good overall dynamic. It's not what I'm most interested in, though. I'll talk about that in a second. But we have Hattie, Hattie's very much like this Abigail. She's kind of helping as like a mother figure kind of for Rebecca, but helping Rebecca however she can, whether it's with the mess tent or letting her sell her pies in the mercantile. We have this mercantile type place that Hattie and her daughter Olivia run. And, she does seem like she has a bit of an edge to her, but she's overall kind-hearted. She kind of reminds me of Tess from When Hope Calls, but so far she seems significantly less brutal and brash than her. With Tess, it took a while for us to see her soft side. With Hattie, it seems like she has a soft side, but she does have a little bit of an edge to her. I'm curious if we're going to explore that any. I'm sure we will. I think with Rebecca and Tom, I feel like the actors, they just don't really seem like they fit in that time, which, I mean, obviously they don't, considering this is 150 years ago, give or take. But, 160, if I'm right. Hold on. About 150, a little over 150 years ago. I mean, obviously they're not going to know exactly how to act, what people are supposed to act like in this time. I don't think Bethany and Ben are the strongest with that. I mean, they're strong with the characters that they're playing, just maybe not fitting into this time zone. But I think Hattie and Olivia are really good. I feel like they really feel like accurate representations of people in this time period. But yeah, I like her relationship with her daughter too, not wanting to let her go, but also seeing that her daughter's destined for so much more than just staying in this and working at the mercantile with her. She has dreams, desires, and, she's worth more than just staying by her side. And it's just interesting how we have kind of a parallel almost. We have Sarah not wanting to leave her mom's side, and then we have Olivia caught between staying with her mom and going off and doing her own thing. And I think we're going to kind of see both Olivia and Sarah kind of branch out at the end and go to kind of what they're afraid of doing, but also what they desire to do, which Olivia is to pursue her drawing career or whatever that's going to be for her, and for Sarah to get comfortable in this, make new friends, all of that, settle down in this new area. But yeah, I like Olivia a lot too. She has a bit of a spunk to her, a little bit of an awkwardness, but I think she seems like a good character. I like her relationship with her mom too. I feel like she kind of softens her mom a bit. Whenever it seems like Hattie kind of has an edge to her, Olivia seems to calm her down. But I do like that. And Hattie's also a widow, which is another similarity to Abigail. Abigail lost her son too. But it's cool that she was able to keep her daughter in this. I like that they're making some differences. I mean, sure, there's similar characters like Elizabeth to Rebecca, and then I guess Tom to Jack, sort of. But even then, Tom's not a Mountie. Hattie and Abigail are very similar too. But yeah, Olivia's a new character that I think is something I miss in When Calls the Heart, is a strong 20-some character that we don't really have. I mean, we had it with Elizabeth, but she was the main character. So I like that we have someone in this that's more of a side character to bring fresh, youthful energy to this. So I feel like they're telling the story with the generations a bit better too, where you have kids like Sarah, and then you have them the generation of Olivia and Alexander and Clayton, and then you kind of have Rebecca and Tom, and then Hattie. So I like that. I feel like the generations is interesting how they establish that right off the bat, that you kind of have 3 or 4 different generation stories being told here. But yeah, we have a love triangle, clearly, right off the bat, because Hallmark loves their love triangles. And this one actually seems like it's going to be a cute one. We have Olivia is clearly going to be stuck between Alexander the Mountie and Clayton, who's like a wood shop worker type person. Clayton, right off the bat, is very interested in her. He had literally carved her a deer, and she was going to sell it too. She's clueless and oblivious about the whole thing. But Alexander's also interested in her, clearly, but it's a little bit more subtle. Like, Olivia's very interested in him. She's definitely more interested in the Mountie. She's too focused on him that she doesn't see that Clayton's clearly trying to make moves right in front of her. I do like the Mountie. I like him. I mean, obviously it's hard to compete with Jack and Nathan, but I mean, he seems like a nice guy, very charismatic. I mean, pretty face. I mean, he's like basically probably the prettiest Mountie in like the sense of just clean cut, shaven, young. We have, it's cool seeing like a younger Mountie too, because I feel like all the ones we've seen in When Calls the Heart have been a bit older. So I do like that we're getting like someone younger. Again, it kind of brings a bit more of a youthful type energy into it. I mean, he's not like young. I mean, he's in his 20s, right? But younger than what like Jack was, or obviously what Nathan and Gabe from When Hope Calls, from when we met them. Alexander also is kind of looking into the Rebecca. Like, he doesn't fully trust her. He thinks that there's something more with her. So I think that's gonna reveal stuff from Rebecca and Sarah's past, which I think that there'll be some pretty big reveals, because there's still some mystery behind them. We know they lived near Chicago, right? But like, what happened there except for I mean, the fact that they have some like trust issues, clearly Rebecca alludes to that they lost her, Rebecca's husband too, and Sarah's father. So I'm curious what else happened in their past. I'm sure the Mountie's going to find out about that at some point. Maybe someone from their past will show up in here. We'll see. It'll be interesting for sure. Yeah, but as far as this love triangle goes, I'm mixed. I think she'll probably end up with the Mountie just because that's the Hallmark formula. I mean, Lillian got with Gabe. I mean, there was really never another actual option for her. Elizabeth got with Lucas first, but then she ended up with Nathan, so that's pretty much following that Mountie option. So here, will be, she'll probably end up with Alexander, but I think it would be cool if maybe, I don't know, there's nothing saying she couldn't like try something with one and then date the other. I mean, that's what Elizabeth did. She was literally engaged to Lucas, so she doesn't have to commit to one, but I'm sure that would be something driving through the season, and I'm looking forward to that. Especially, I think I'm more interested in this love triangle than I am in the Rebecca and Tom storyline up at all. But we'll see how it progresses. So some smaller characters, basically Sarah's new friend's mom doesn't know how to read. Her name's Peggy, so Rebecca is teaching her how to read. So that's like a family that Tom's also friends with. So I could definitely maybe see Peggy and her husband trying to push Rebecca and Tom together at some point. We also meet this woman named Phoebe who kind of lives by herself. She's very secluded, though. We find out that she lost her son, and she hasn't been around town any or stopped into the mercantile. It's probably not called a mercantile, but I'm just going to call it that. So Hattie's trying to reach her, but she's struggling because Phoebe clearly wants no one to talk to her. She's grieving. She's dealing with grief her own way. And then at the end, after the storm, and this is episode 3, after the storm, she brings beeswax to help repair Rebecca's tent that fell over. So, she seems like of an interesting character. I mean, there's a lot of characters in this. I'm surprised that seem to have quite a bit of prominence. So I'm curious where all their stories are going to go. Another character is this like guy that's like probably like the main prospector. He seems to be like the bad guy of them all. I mean, there's a lot of prospectors here. We also see Tom's men kind of wanting gold too. I mean, clearly everyone's in on the gold, and at some point I'm sure someone will strike gold and there'll be an argument over who should get it or whatnot. I mean, I definitely think that's coming at some point. But the main guy looking for gold that we're kind of supposed to root against is, his name's Doyle, Archie Doyle, which is funny because he plays Archie's uncle, Frank, on Riverdale, and I immediately recognized him. I mean, I just recognized him because he's short and he has just that look about him that really, I was like, who is that? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's Frank. That's so funny because Frank was like not a great guy at first, but he turned better But I'm thinking this guy, Archie, will probably stay a villain throughout because there needs to be an actual villain besides him and maybe some of the other guys he partners with. There's not really a clear-cut villain here, but he and Tom clearly have beef with each other. We saw a fight break out with them at the end of episode 1, too. So, obviously, storylines that are going to be carried into the remaining 5 episodes are something with Rebecca and Tom. It's clearly going to happen. Some stuff about what happened with Rebecca and Sarah from where they used to live. Clearly, it's like the Mountie's going to find something out. There's going to be something coming out about that. Someone's going to strike gold. Something's going to happen with the prospectors. We'll probably see Rebecca open her boarding house too, so there might be some conflict there. Tom doesn't like the prospectors, so he really is. I think his main motivation behind all of this is trying to protect Rebecca from them. He doesn't want them to hurt her or her daughter Sarah. So we could see a situation where they try to hurt them and Tom comes in to save the day. I would not be shocked about that at all. And I'm sure we're going to see Olivia maybe get like an offer because, she's starting to sketch the Mountie, or Alexander asks her to sketch for like the frontier, like trying to attract people to come visit here. So I can maybe see that going successful her way, but I definitely think this love triangle will continue and we'll see probably some juicy stuff there. So yeah, and then of course this Phoebe character, what's her all about? Clearly this is something that's resembled the beginning of When Calls the Heart. There's like a lot of loss right before the show starts, and that lingers into the season, and people dealing with loss. How do they overcome it with hope? And that's clearly going to be a big theme in this show as well, because we see that Hattie lost to her husband. Rebecca lost her husband, which means Sarah lost her dad. Phoebe lost her son. So they're already setting up that people have lost a lot of like important people in their life. And I definitely think that's going to impact like people's feelings, people's emotions. So I'm really looking forward to that. But overall, I think it's a good show so far, a good start. I think some of it, I'm so used to When Calls the Heart, and even When Hope Calls too. I think it's a little bit slow. I think a lot of the scenes kind of feel repetitive too. The pacing's very slow. It kind of drags on, but I hope as the season progresses, we get to see more action take place. I'm sure we will. I mean, we have basically all of what the both When Calls the Heart and When Hope Calls have. Mountie, etc., businessmen, like all of that, rancher, all of that. We have all those people there, so we're probably going to get a similar storyline as we do in both of those shows. I liked how When Hope Calls turns out. Speaking of When Hope Calls, I'm probably going to wait till this summer to review it, so I don't have to pay for another membership through Great American. So I think I'm going to review that this summer, try to. So comment down below, what do you think of these first 3 episodes? I know I didn't really talk about each one on its own, but I kind of just talked about what I think of the characters and the plot so far. But I'm going to be doing bi-weekly recaps, so the next recap will be in 2 weeks, and I'll be talking about episodes 4 and 5, so stay tuned for that. I'm doing bi-weekly because I'm in my last month of school, so it's easier just for me to only have to record bi-weekly. And then once summer comes, I'll record more and post more, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let me know down below what you think of this show in the first 3 episodes, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.